zoom right through it.
So wait. So what? No one liked this tag match? Raw Tag Team title?
I thought it was okay.
It was solid. Nothing special at all.
Yeah,
Good,
I thought
right?
it was okay. Like, it was it was a quick early start. I think these guys just really got it going. It was good tag team action. I thought the Street Profits, they took control early. It was very high paced. It was just a lot of back and forth action. Garza and Theory are just amazing athletes. I really need to go back and look at some takes on Theory. You guys have said it. People, around the social media said it that this kid is like a blue chipper, and he proved it tonight. I thought he did well. Like they did well in a very losing effort. It was very back and forth, nothing special. So I rate this match maybe 2.5 stars out of 5, and of course always the right team won. Like Lou was saying in the past videos, like if any team is gonna take the titles off them, it's gonna be the AOP. But right now the AOP is the old WN right now. So yeah, nothing special. The right team won.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the match was what it was. I mean, this is one of those matches where I was actually very disappointed in the overall product of the match. It has nothing to do with the effort put together by the 4 athletes. I mean, all 4 of them are great. I thought that Zelina Vega was misused throughout the match, and Zelina actually got physical after the match was over. To introduce Bianca Belair, and then the announcers.
Oh, right.
And then I'm looking at the announcers and just thinking to myself, I'm like, why can't you just acknowledge that she's Montez Ford's wife? They were like, oh, she's coming out to help the Street Profits. I'm like, just acknowledge that they're married.
I think they did.
Well,
I think they did.
At the end.
Yeah, but it was.
Mhm.
I heard wife.
Yeah, but it was like muffled. It was like.
Yeah, you couldn't hear it. But
That's
they
the
did
thing. That's the thing that bothers me. I'm like, okay, it was a makeshift match. It was what it was. It's the kind of tag team match that I don't like, and what I mean by that is that sometimes it's so fast paced that some of the things that need to be registered don't register. Austin Theory and Garza got heat on Dawkins. They put the big man down. They started working him over. But the thing is that the match didn't have enough time for Dawkins to be able to kind of like try to like stay alive, but then get cut off, and then keep the match going to where there's no audience, so there's going to be no such thing as a hot tag, but at least to be able to get Dawkins down enough to where we're like, dude, you got to get to Ford. You got to get to Ford or you're going to get beat. That never really quite materialized. And then the ending of the match, it was like the comeback was just like one move on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. And I was like, dude, that's unnecessary. You don't have to do all that stuff. When the match was over, I was like, whatever. I was disappointed because I was expecting better from the 4 of them. Under the circumstances, I can forgive a lot of it, but the actual in-ring product, I just thought that everything was rushed at the end. Then they beat up the Street Profits afterwards. After they show the replay and the Street Profits have already done part of their celebration, then they get beat up. No, don't show no replay. Don't show any of that. You go if you lose and you're hot about it, you beat them up right there. Just take them down. Because guess what? I would much rather have the heels beat up on the baby faces and then have Bianca Belair come out for the save. Because guess what? That replay to me was just 45 seconds of ugh. I didn't need that. It's like just have everything move forward. And it was just frustrating for me to watch. I was disappointed with it. They're trying to introduce Bianca Belair in a way that I was like, okay, this is the wrong spot to put her in, unless you're going to emphatically acknowledge that this is Montez Ford's wife. And that's the reason why she ran out, because on TV, there's never been any interaction between the Street Profits and Bianca Belair as television characters for you to say like, all right, why is Bianca Belair running out to help the Street Profits? Unless you emphatically acknowledge that she and Montez Ford are married. So it was, I don't know, it was just blah. I get it. It's a makeshift tag team against the tag team champions. They're trying to fill time. But man, it was really disappointing, and I feel bad for all people involved because, I'm a fan of all of them, and I want all of them to succeed. I just thought that this particular pairing, not very good.
Any thoughts, Edgar?
No, I actually agree with this. To me, it felt like a thrown together match. If Andrade was part of it, it would make more sense. But it was a foregone conclusion. Nothing really wowed me.
Let me tell you what
I
I felt about this match. I cannot wait for 4 or 5 years from now when Montez and Bianca are both champions. And that's all I think about this match.
Is
They're
that
gonna
really?
be they're
Are
gonna
we
be
gonna see
huge,
Seth and
huge
Becky?
stars. Huge stars. Yes, that's
Yeah, and by the way, guys,
Montez.
like,
That boy is good. Good.
no, he's very good. He's another I believe he's an amateur as well. He's a former amateur wrestler.
Listen, I'm
No,
sorry. Go ahead, Julio. I was cutting you off. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, I was just gonna say that. By the way, we're ranting on this match. Kind of felt like it took forever. This match was only 6 minutes.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it was that it's not about the length of the match. It's just a matter of the reason why we're ranting on it is because, listen, I'm a huge fan of the Street Profits. I've always any time that anybody talks to me about Bianca Belair, I think that she's a star. She really is. It's
Yeah.
just a matter that she's still developing, but she's outstanding. It's just a matter that in this stage, I just think that this was a way for WWE to try to present all of these talents and trying to put them try to put a good light on them in a difficult situation. I just thought that the execution did not work out. Nobody looked good in this at all. Not the Street Profits, not Austin Theory, not Garza, not Bianca Belair, Selena Vega. Nobody looked good at the end of this because it just looked like you just threw a bunch of stuff against the wall and trying to see what stuck. And all of it, unfortunately, hit the ground. Nothing really stuck.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's why we called it. It was a filler match. It was thrown together just to put the tag team titles on Mania. Yeah, guys. Next up, what I don't even know the other match we're talking about. Oh, the SmackDown, the women's match. This was it was one of those started slow and then it got hot. I thought it was a good match. Late, you know, this kind of started the Bailey and Sasha feud. Naomi's athleticism is off the hook. She did a lot of tremendous shit here. Lacey's skills. I think Lacey is a great athlete. She's very overlooked right now. I don't know when they're gonna put the title on her, but I feel that girl has what it takes to be a future champion. Tamina's no selling. It was God, Jesus Christ. And Baby's trash talking was actually on point. I really enjoy her trash talking, and they kind of started bringing in Sasha's like. Her kind of like, I'm already getting sick of this already. We need to do something. If not, I am out of here. But overall, I thought the match was okay. I give it 2 stars out of 5. The one that shined here was Bailey, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I like this match. I had a good time watching it, and I think it was what it needed to be. We can't do Sasha versus Bailey yet. Because there's no one in the crowd. When they turn on each other, the crowd's gonna go crazy. So we need to wait. But you can start planting seeds. You can keep the title on Bailey because she's done a good job. She keeps getting better. And one thing WWE does do well is protect the women's titles. They keep them on their strongest people. The strongest girls have the titles. That's it.
Yeah. And I really like the fact that when Sasha got eliminated, she just laying on the floor outside. The other two girls, are like, okay, I'm gone. I'm gonna walk back. That kind of showed Bailey Sasha more or less was still like part of this match.
Yeah, Sasha needs to be the one to take that title off Bailey. I don't know who's gonna be the heel or who's gonna be the face. That's for them to decide. But
yeah.
I want Sasha to get that title. She deserves it.
Yeah. I think Sasha's gonna be and end up being the babyface here because she's so cool, and we're gonna cheer on for her. We don't want to boo her. Lou, I remember you alluded last time, like if there's any big true heel in this company, it's Sasha because she has it all.
Well, I honestly I love this match, and I loved it for every piece of the way this match was put together. Whoever put this match together did it brilliantly. When you see the beginning of the match, you clearly know that Sasha Banks and Bailey are working as a team against the other three girls.
Oh yeah.
It was very clear that they established Tamina as the dominant player inside, the physical dominant competitor in the match, and they told the story about how Tamina was essentially being able to power off and fight off all four girls at the same time. Then all four girls just said, hey, you know, it's like the equivalent in a battle royal when, you know, you got the 400-pound guy in the ring and all the other guys are like, listen, we're not going to be able to beat this guy on our own. We're just going to have to gang up on him and toss him out. Well, they did exactly that to Tamina. So it was a very well thought out way to being able to showcase Tamina's strength and her power and really play that off well, but also, you know, being able to tell the story of all four girls literally toppling on top of Tamina to where there was no way she could kick out. I thought that it was very well executed the way they told the story there and getting Tamina out of the match. When it basically, you know, it was like a four-way, but it felt like a tag team match afterwards when you had Lacey Evans and Naomi teaming up against Sasha Banks and Bailey. I thought that was a good back and forth between the four of them. I thought the only thing that kind of bothered me a little bit is when Lacey Evans got thrown against the steps. She sold too long on the floor because it was basically a three-way and Naomi was wrestling 2 against 1 for what felt like 5 or 6 minutes, you know, wrestling against Sasha and Bailey in a 2-on-1 match with Lacey Evans on the floor for, you know, what I thought was, you know, a little too long. But they did the double teams. Naomi had her comeback. You know, she did all her moves. I mean, her athleticism is ridiculous and the things she can do. They did the right thing in eliminating her. Then it was like, okay, you clearly had the two heels, Sasha and Bailey, against, you know, the clear baby face with Lacey Evans. They did the double team moves, and then Lacey Evans was able to find a way to thwart the two of them. I thought that, you know, the way that Sasha Banks was eliminated was actually quite brilliant because Bailey was looking like she's protecting her friend, but then she inadvertently got, you know, she got knocked out with the woman's right. And when Sasha Banks gets pinned, Bailey has no intention of saving her. So obviously that's a very heelish move, and that's brilliantly done on Bailey's part. To leave Sasha Banks laying out on the floor the entire time in the one-on-one match between Lacey Evans and Bailey was brilliantly done, because what you do is that obviously, you know, Sasha Banks is going to get involved in the end of the match. But what she did was that she sold that woman's right, where she basically laid out on the floor taking a nap for, you know, 10 minutes. You know, that she's just selling that shot and how devastating it is. So she put Lacey Evans over huge there with that. And then obviously she gets involved in the end. She helps Bailey win the match. But you can clearly tell by the look on her face that when she gave her the belt, she's like, yeah, you know, she smells a rat. The only thing that I think here is that when Sasha Banks and Bailey do eventually fight each other, the women's championship is not going to be the prize to go after, because I think that somewhere before that, Lacey Evans is going to end up winning the championship, because the way that it was positioned, it took the two of them to beat Lacey Evans. So obviously Lacey Evans isn't going anywhere in terms of that story. And I think that at some point, Sasha Banks will cost Bailey the championship, and then that's where the two of them are going to fight over that. And then whoever comes out on top of that, they get Lacey Evans next.
Okay.
That was brilliantly put.
Yeah. That was I mean, yeah. Well, we'll see if they keep the title on Bailey. The question is, would it be better for them to keep the title on this program?
No, I don't think so, because the thing about it is that this match could kind of be in the equivalent of what we saw with Randy Orton and Edge, with that, you know, like a real grudge match. Obviously, it may not get to that level right away, but to have the championship be put in front, first of all, both of them are heels. And the thing is that I don't think that you're going to switch Bailey. Bailey actually did a really good job tonight playing the heel. Like, this is like one of the few times I saw her and I was like, man, I believed her. You know, she was good. She talked, all her stuff, all her moves, all her stuff looked good. And she works like a heel. The only thing is with Sasha Banks is that I don't think that Sasha Banks is going to be turned babyface. I think that it's basically just two heels just they're just pissed. It's it's like two best friends who, and they've had this match before. The only difference is that Bailey was the white meat baby face and Sasha was the tweener. Now both of them are clearly heels. So I don't think that initially it's going to be that, one of them is going to be turned babyface immediately. No, that's going to be something where they're both going to be fighting as either heels or tweeners. Probably Sasha Banks might be closer to a tweener versus Bailey will be the clear heel. Yeah. But I think that ultimately the championship isn't really the prop that's necessary, because I think that the story between the two of them and all the history they have, that grudge match is going to be worth well more than the championship. And you can, and then with Lacey Evans, she could be, you put the belt on her and she can have those championship matches, with the other girls. And eventually whoever comes out on top in that Sasha Banks Bailey feud can then go after the championship, with Lacey Evans having won not only the championship in the way that she won it, but then from there she can start beating other talents and really start, coming up. Because I honestly think that Lacey Evans is the next person coming up. It's just they couldn't pull the trigger on it tonight because it wouldn't have made any sense. There's a lot of undercurrents that need to be done, and the seeds were planted for the Sasha Banks Bailey match. But I think the championship has to be the lure in the beginning. But then once the championship gets taken away, then it's about, hey, me and you, we gotta settle whatever we're gonna settle. And the championship is not a necessary component to make that match work.
It's grudge. Yeah, it's all about the grudge. Yeah, and personal. All right. Next match is the last man standing. Orton and Edge. We talked about it earlier. I did like this match. I thought it was brutal. It was very physical, a lot of dangerous high spots, especially for Edge, coming back with that neck injury. They work very well together. You can really tell that these guys are very good friends behind the scenes. Again, my only two issues, I told you guys earlier, was the commentary team. I didn't think that they gave too much life to this match, and I think it went 20 minutes too long. The ending was great. It was like you said, Lou, was very emotional. It was very, very touching, and you would think that he went to check on his friend, make sure, hey, I didn't hit you, and thank you, I love you. That scene where he went down and he got kind of close to his ear. I thought this match was great. People ragging on it, saying it was just too long, which it was, but I give this match 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the most polarizing match of Mania. You will see. I guarantee it. People will either. There's some people who might be in the middle who'll be like, okay, I like parts of it. Everybody likes what Orton's doing. Everybody likes what Edge is doing. And the ending really, really made this match for me. Yeah. So the ending to me made it good. Everything in the middle felt the same. So it was like 30 minutes of punch, throw him against the wall, punch, throw him against the wall. Thank God that Edge and Orton are so good at emoting and making the match very emotional. So at least they have that. But it was solid. It's just I couldn't watch it. That felt like 40 minutes. I don't need punch, throw him against the wall for 40 minutes. I just don't.
Lou.
Yeah. That I agreed it was 15 minutes too long also, just like Julio said. They told a great story the whole way through, but it was a physical match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Sometimes with matches like this, sometimes matches like this when there could be matches that are too long, but it could be with the wrong two guys, and you just think I really don't care one way or the other. In a match like this, you're talking about two guys with tremendous history with one another. Both are very much loved by the audience, whether they're baby faces or heels. The audience has a recognition with them and they love them. So I didn't mind that the match went on longer than probably it should have, because in all honesty, I think that this is a match where you want to keep telling that very physical story. You want to establish that both of these guys are super tough. You want to establish the fact that neither one wants to surrender to the other. And in the end, when Edge wins, you know, you could see all of that emotion. It's 9 years of being on the shelf, then coming back, then having his best friend essentially try to put him down. Then he goes on TV and talking smack about his kids, lays his wife out. You know, I certainly know that if I'm in a match like that with somebody who put his hands on my wife, I'm not trying to end it in 10 minutes. I'm gonna basically beat you down until I'm good and well satisfied. So it's one of those things where you just have to kind of there's certain pulls there within that story. So yeah, it was long, but I didn't mind it. And again, this is going to be a match where I think that we're not going to be seeing Edge anymore. I think that this was like a cherry on top. It was an exclamation point to his career. And if this is the last time that we ever see Edge wrestle, thank you very much. Congratulations. It was a hell of a match. I'm glad that it worked out this way for you, and then I'm glad that it at least it seems like he didn't get seriously hurt doing this match. So congratulations, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, Lou, I agree with you on the if you know this if somebody would do this, you know, to my wife, I would want like ample amount of time, like, you know, I'm gonna to take my time and I'm gonna torture you. So yeah, I do agree with you on that one. Anything else, fellas?
No.
All right, now we're down to the final match, which was the opening match.
No, wait. What about the main event?
We still got 3 matches to talk about. We have the Bray Wyatt John Cena match, because I don't think we got
No,
that was the first one we covered, actually.
Yeah, we got that.
I'm sorry. So then
it's the main event. We're gonna talk about the main event, and then
oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes, I apologize.
Yeah, and then the opener,
the main event,
the main event, and then the real main event. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. You know, the main event, right? I forgot about that one. We're going that one last. Up next, I guess, is not the final match. Apologies. God, I totally forgot. The NXT women's match.
No, we want to talk about the WWE title match first.
No problem. It was just it was
we're sorry, man.
How do you feel? How does that make you feel?
Yeah. So all right, so really not much to say here, except it was a sequel to last night's championship match. It was just, you know, just one finish spot after another, and another one finish spot after another, and this match ends, and the right guy won. And I was wrong. I really thought that the WWE was going to keep the title on Lesnar due to all the circumstances. I thought that they were not going to put the title on Drew yet, because I don't think they wanted his first reign to go real cold. So, yeah, kudos and congratulations. You know, I'm glad to say that I was wrong, because I actually felt good when Drew took the title, and congrats. I give this match 2 stars. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. I give this match 3 stars out of 5. I think Brock really put, you know, that bastard over, and he put him over really, really well.
Yeah, just hit me with 25 finishers, and then you can. That's how you put him over.
The marathon of Claymore kicks.
Did you like it, Edgar?
I actually did. Brock Lesnar did a good job selling to McIntyre. McIntyre did what he normally does when he's in these kind of matches, just kick him. And we knew. At least I assumed McIntyre was going away with the belt. I did think it was going to be a hotter crowd with like the whole WrestleMania crowd, but with it being an empty arena, I understood how Julio could think it was going the other way. But
and also too, what's going on in the world right now, that was kind of clouding, you know, my judgment at that time. I said they cannot put the title on Drew. I don't want his first reign to be real cold by him just being home and doing nothing and waiting until this situation blows over. But hey, again, Lou, glad to say that I was wrong. I know you guys are really beating me over the head, like, no, Brock is gonna win. You know, why would they do this to Drew is not right. And you know, you guys kept your guns, I kept mine. I said nope. I don't think Drew's going to win, and I'm glad to say that I was wrong.
And you're gonna get chops because of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No,
6,
no,
7,
no,
8,
no,
not
no.
like that, not like that, Playboy.
There, you won.
No.
Here's the deal about this match that I actually thought when I first saw it, and I just
By the
saw
way,
match,
sorry, Lou. I'm sorry. By the way, it was less than 5 minutes.
yeah,
By the way, that match.
it was expected. But the one thing about this match when I first when I was watching it just before coming on, I just the first thought I thought to myself just like, my God, why is this match only a series of F5s and Claymore kicks? But then as I started thinking about it, I'm like, how brilliant is this storytelling? And here's the deal. So Brock Lesnar goes into a match where he knows is like, hey, I'm the world champion. I'm going to lose the title, and it's going to be in an empty crowd. There's no purpose in wrestling what would be the normal match they would have had if they would have been at Robert James Stadium in Tampa in front of 75,000 people. It would have been a vastly different match. So what they did is that they basically condensed it and gave the highlights. It's like they bring in F5 immediately when McIntyre kicks out at 1. The announcers and again with Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton, with all due respect, they were not the right guys to be calling that match. It should have been Cole and JBL. They should have called that match. Only because of the fact that I think with them being the more experienced announcers, they would have told the story better. I didn't like their voices calling this match. But essentially, it's like, hey, they're condensing the match because what's going to end up happening is that once things go back to normal and WWE can go back to a live crowd, this match will be redone. They will have a rematch. The only difference is obviously is that the champion and challenger spots are going to be different, but they're going to redo this match. They're going to work the match they would have had tonight in front of a live crowd had WrestleMania been in front of a live crowd. Drew will still win. He'll still have his moment, but now they're going to work that 20-minute match that would be the match that realistically would have made Drew look like a star. I think the psychology was brilliant because, yes, it's short and everybody's like that, but at the same time, Brock Lesnar was not going to essentially give the kind of performance that would have been given under the situation. It's better for that wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, hey, establish the Claymore, establish that Drew McIntyre is a tough dude, and then once we get past this COVID-19 deal and can have a regular match, whether it's SummerSlam, Survivor Series, next year, whenever we can get that big crowd back, this match will be redone, and trust me, it's going to be a good match. Drew will still win, but it's going to be a very good match.
Yeah, you literally took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. We should just go to the next match.
No, let me fucking rant, asshole. I'm not gonna rant. I'm gonna wait for the next time they face each other.
Yeah, Lou just knocked out the park. He's totally right.
I mean, I hope Lou is right because Brock is a weird dude, man. And he has sometimes I'm constantly defending Brock. I'm like, no, trust me. When he works with somebody that he respects, he's able to have really, really good matches. But 70% of his matches is that match that just happened. So it's like, is it really that Brock is? I literally thought the same. I was like, fuck, what the fuck, Brock? How could you do this to me? I was certain you were gonna give us at least 15 minutes, But then I thought about it. I was like, Brock is the type of guy. He is a really smart guy, and maybe he is holding back. So I'm gonna hold back, and I'm still gonna keep defending Brock until he faces Drew in front of a crowd, and hopefully they do the right thing.
Yeah, they'll do the right thing by Drew McIntyre in that match. I think that tonight, I mean, listen, you want to put the title on him. It's a feel good moment. It felt really flat in every sense of the word, and it's because there's no crowd. And like I said, all due respect to Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips, they're not the right guys. If it was Michael Cole and JBL, I think they would have probably sold that a lot better. And I would rather have JBL, who's a Hall of Famer, put over Drew McIntyre, put over how tough Brock Lesnar is because he was in the ring with him, and then put over Drew McIntyre and just how he's been a buzzsaw over the last 6-8 months, a year, however long he's been back in WWE. And just killing it. And I just think that with Cole and JBL, they would have done a better job of narrating that story. And it would have felt a little better for me listening to it. and that that's not a it sounds like I'm downing on Saxton and Phillips. I'm not. I think they're both.
No, of course not.
I think they're a very good team. It's just that I don't think that they were the right voices for the inflection of this particular story tonight.
I just kind of felt the same way with the Last Man Standing. I don't, I don't
you could say the same for that. Yeah, you could say the same there too.
It's kind of like the same. Yeah.
So let's appreciate Michael Cole. Tom Phillips doesn't seem to have any energy or passion.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I just think that Tom Phillips' style is a little different, and there are times where in certain situations maybe the inflection of Phillips's voice is not the best, and I think that Michael Cole just has a better inflection in like those really, I guess in the really in those situations where like a heel does something really bad, somebody gets laid out or something happens, you're like, ooh, sometimes silence might be better, but Michael Cole just kind of knows how to drop a line in there, get out, and then just kind of leave it in the air. It sounds better when Cole does it.
Yeah.
Or if McMahon drops the line and Michael Cole says.
Maybe they should have had Mauro. Maybe they should have had Mauro call it because he would have been like, "Oh, he hits him with the Claymore virus."
No. Listen. I love Mauro, but I don't think that there was any. If I honestly think if they would have featured an NXT match with the Undisputed Era, that would be the only match that I would be like, I need Mauro Ranallo calling this one. But
I like Mauro.
I love Mauro. I love him. I can't say enough good things about him.
I agree.
He's great.
So Firefly Funhouse, Julio, did you like that match? Come on, we already know you didn't like it. What happened? What went wrong?
Okay, fine. Then you just answered my question. I didn't like it. You're next. Go for it. What did you think about that? Smarty pants?
I'm not being a smarty pants asshole. I love that match. I had so much fun watching that match. I don't know. Am I crazy? Edgar, am I crazy?
It was a little all over the place, but I did enjoy it. Start to finish, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I liked the match because it wasn't a match. It was just a Broadway show. I did enjoy all the nostalgia. I thought that was great. That was so cool. They brought back all the old gimmicks of John Cena. I did like the NWO gimmick. I thought that was cool. It was just like all this pony show that I just was not into it. I was like, oh my God, can we end this match already? But yeah, since you guys are not rating, I rated this match maybe 2 out of 5. Aside from all the nostalgia, I was not a big fan of this match.
Yeah, I thought the match was fun, but I don't think that it accomplished its purpose in the end. I think in the end, the purpose of having the Fiend, beat John Cena, it felt like this was very theatrical, and I enjoyed the fact that they really went through a lot of work to kind of get to the place they did, and they used nostalgia. They presented all of John Cena's previous incarnations. They did the whole thing, the introduction in the beginning to Bray Wyatt, talking about their match at WrestleMania 30. It was all greatly tied in. The only thing that I just thought that at the end when I saw it, and in the end Cena kind of like disappears. It's just like, I don't necessarily, at least to me, I don't necessarily know, if I feel really compelled to think that it accomplished the goal of actually having the Fiend defeat John Cena in something that can be considered, I guess, a legit match. It just, I don't know. It just kind of to me. It felt like a good movie with an ending where I felt like, okay, it was empty. It was like an empty ending to me. I just didn't feel like it accomplished its intended goal. At least not for me.
Yeah, I kind of felt I was watching Freddy's Dead. The final met the guy in the video game where he was just like bouncing them back and forth. I feel like he hypnotized John Cena, just had him like under his power the entire time, where Bray's like, no matter what you do, I am coming out victorious on this one. Vic, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, good. You didn't cut me off. I think I would have preferred a regular ass beating in the ring, but with the whole situation, and I think there were too many regular matches.
Yeah.
I don't think they were created enough. Maybe that's what I was missing in the Orton match too. Maybe that needed to be movie style, cinematic style, whatever. I felt like I needed 4 or 5 of those cinematic movie type matches. I didn't.
Yeah.
I needed less in ring with no crowd, where you kind of feel like, even when it's good, you're like, like like it's like a distraction. Like I needed more matches that were unique. So I think when they were thinking about what matches can we make unique, Undertaker's match and Bray's match were probably the only ones. So I think that's why they did it like that.
That was exactly what I was saying during our first video. Like the WWE, their creative juices are gonna have to be top notch here, and I think they proved it with those two matches, with these 2 gimmick matches.
Yeah, but the thing about it was that even with last night's presentation with the Undertaker and AJ Styles, from beginning to end, everything was executed to perfection.
Yeah, and it felt believable.
Nothing about that felt silly or dumb or this took too long, or they kind of touched on particularly all of the Undertaker's incarnations throughout his career, but they did it in a way that it just everything felt really good. It felt like a great action scene in a movie. Tonight with Bray Wyatt's match with John Cena, it felt like it was more, and of course you're talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street series with Freddy, but it kind of felt that way. And the thing is that it got to be a little too much of that, and not enough of an undercurrent of pro wrestling that would make me feel like, all right, we're good with this, and that I felt like I got too much theater and not enough wrestling to kind of make it feel like I'm eating a full meal. It felt like I had all the sizzle and none of the steak. At the end of the day, when it comes to the end result of that match, it just felt like I don't think that the Fiend character was made to look any stronger after tonight's presentation. It still looks like he's just this weird nightmare character that they're just wanting to continue to put on TV. And I don't know. I mean, tonight it felt like a little bit of a bust. They could have done a lot. I think they could have done a lot more to make it more emphatic. And I think that probably in the end sequence, had they actually probably finished it inside the Performance Center ring and make it actually go back into reality, and John Cena gets beat because he actually started the match, in the arena, and then he got brought back in. He got brought into Bray's nightmare world. Well, in the end, they could have done it inside the ring with the Fiend actually beating him and a referee, calling for the bell or something. As silly as that sounds, because it might seem like you're going from one world to another, but at least for me, I'm like, give me something that makes the match feel a little more legit.
You wanted the exclamation point. Yeah, because I don't.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I was waiting for Bray to bring out the remote control and then just end this right now. I was waiting for Bray to go like, thank you guys for tuning in. I feel like they're really like making this Fiend character now more of a baby face. Like he's starting to be cool now. He's being that that Freddy Krueger now. He's being Ghostface. He's being Jason. He's being like, now he's becoming like a famous iconic character now that we as fans like adore and love. And I just don't, again, it was funny. It was great. I'm being nice. I think I'm giving it 2 stars, but I'm really leaning towards giving it just 1 star because I thought it was funny, but it wasn't great.
I agree with that. It's hard to give a match 2 stars when
not a
there's
real match.
2 wrestling. There's 2 wrestling.
It's not a real match.
It wasn't a match.
It was just like a story. It was like
it was a segment. It was just a segment.
It was just a fairy tale. It wasn't a match.
All right. What's next?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
You're the moderator, friend.
All right. Well, since you guys put it that way, all right. Let's talk about Black versus Lashley. It was what it was. It was just it was one of your averages or early matches. I thought it was good. It was physical. Lashley, he dominated. Most of the match. No pun intended. You know, Black got, you know, he got his spots in. But this, you know, it was just your average match. I feel like this was the type of match that you see in the second hour of Raw. And obviously you guys saw that they kind of planted the seeds now, because Lashley was going to end the match, and Lana was like, no, don't do that. I think I forgot what was that she said. Spear him. Don't give him the Dominator. And Black took advantage, countered, and won the match. And, you know, Lashley was given that look to Lana, was like, why the hell did I listen to you? So if I rate this match, you know, I just give it an average. I would give it like two stars out of 5. I believe the right guy won. Keep Black hot, and hopefully something good will come out, because he is a Paul Heyman project. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's the only one, him and Murphy, out of all the guys that Paul Heyman wants to push on Raw. I believe he's one of the two. So yeah, I thought this match was good. The right guy won.
Yeah, I think the right guy won. That, you know, they actually had really good chemistry too. I kind of like how they worked together.
Yeah. No.
It felt really smooth, really good. Like, I don't know if it's just Black is that good, but I don't know. It felt really smooth for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it served its purpose, right? They just threw it in there, a little bit of filler. Black won, a nice victory over a scary dude. All right, let's keep it going with Black. We good.
Yeah, Lou.
I thought the exact same thing. The way that this match was positioned was actually quite perfect, because considering the match that it followed, we'll talk about that later, but you know, it was second on the card tonight, following the opening match. And you know, they had to bring the crowd down, the television crowd down from, you know, that first match. I thought the match was, you know, it's a cold match because they have no story going in or any, you know, anything that they've been talking about long term. So it was a cold match. Both guys did a good job. You know, the ending with Lana essentially costing Bobby Lashley the match in terms of giving him the wrong instructions, I was okay with that. The only thing that I did not like, there's a couple of things I thought that were done incorrectly. Number one, when Aleister Black hit the Black Mass on Bobby Lashley kicked out at 3 1/8, and then he absolutely no-sold it. So I thought that he, you know, unintendedly buried the move.
I forgot about that. I feel, yeah. He pulled a Hulk Hogan spot. Sorry.
So it was unintentionally burying the move, but also on top of that, it's a matter of, okay, he could have laid down and been knocked out for, you know, give the look like he got knocked out. And then after about maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, he comes to, and he's like, he kind of has this look like, what happened? And then he'll look over at Lana, and, you know, they could have stretched that out for at least a minute or so. I'm like, listen, in an event like tonight's show where, you know, you could have stretched that segment out for maybe another 30 seconds or a minute and tell that story, because it felt, at least to me, it felt like it was a good match. It was a cold match, but it was a good match. But at the end, the only thing that you kind of felt was, okay, there's some tension between Lashley and Lana, but that wasn't told properly at the end either. And then Aleister Black ends up, a match that should be a big win for him ends up being like an afterthought, because of the way that the Black Mass move was, at least to me, unintentionally buried. Because if he would have knocked out Bobby Lashley and he would have been laid out for like 20, 30 seconds and he would have just been laying flat on his back, you've already established a move. Now when he hits it on other opponents, it's going to be established, hey, if it knocked out Bobby Lashley and look at him, the dude's a monster, knocked him out, then it's an established finish that he can use and beat whomever. So I just thought that, you know, the point of accomplishment for tonight's match wasn't done.
Any thoughts, Hagar?
No, I'm on board with the same thing. It was more of a filler match. I'm just waiting for the full year to end so Rusev Day could come back again, to be honest.
Oh, God. What's next, Julio?
Right. Everybody's favorite match, Otis versus Ziggler. Boy, was I hesitant. I was going to. This was actually one of the predictions that I was going to change, and I decided to stick with my guns.
What was the original prediction?
Oh no! I had Ziggler. I did wanted to go with Otis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I kind of went with my gut, and my gut failed me. Yeah, no, I thought it was again another like Edgar said. I think it was just another filler match. Ziggler took most control. Like I think he took most control of the match. It was very fast paced, and that's the one thing I like about Otis, man. For a big guy, man, he reminds me so much of Yoko. The dude can really move. He's very athletic. Obviously he has an amateur wrestling background. For a lot of people did not know that. Towards the end he picked up momentum. He had it won, and yeah, that happened at the end. I did like the fact how they brought in, like a fourth wall in here, how they brought in Sonya to be kind of like, the mastermind on everything. But yeah, no, other than that, I was really hoping that Ziggler was going to get the win, since this was, his very first singles match at WrestleMania after being with the company for 36 years. So, nothing special. I was really not into this match. I don't remember much. So if I had to rate this match, I'll give it 1.5 out of 5 stars. But I really felt that Ziggler should have won this match.
I mean, I think I liked the match. I thought it was fun. I'm assuming like I assumed with most of the finishes, although I don't know, with some of the finishes it feels like, okay, this is over with. We're gonna end this, and then with other matches you're like, wait, that's not the finish I was expecting or whatever. Anyway.
Well, yeah, well, like if this match was happening in front of 70,000 people, then I definitely would have went with Otis, because this would have been like a good feeling. But the fact that there was no crowd, I figured, oh my God, this could be in Ziggler's favorite here. But no, the WWE, they did the right thing. Lou.
Well, I think that like I said in my prediction, when I nailed this one.
Indeed, you did.
And so did you.
I think that they just felt like, okay, we have to rush it. We have to end this story now, because who knows when we're gonna start filming shows again. So we can't wait 3 more months for Otis to get his hands on Ziggler if there's no television.
Yeah, Lou, didn't you say that?
No, I mean, the one thing is that when I made my prediction for this match, I didn't really know the full length of the story. I know when I actually sat down and watched the video package and saw it play out, I know that I texted you guys and I was like, this is going to be a far different match, because knowing the video package and then seeing where it went, I was like, oh no, Otis is winning this match. It's just that, I wasn't going to back out. I put Ziggler as my prediction, but when I saw the match, I didn't think it was a filler match at all. I actually thought that it was a feature match on the show, because they've really been working on telling this story for the last few months. I thought it was entertaining. I mean, far more entertaining than I would have expected. I know that in the beginning of the match, Ziggler took control, and it was a matter of trying to establish some dominance early, get the big man down. Then when Otis makes his comeback, Sonya Deville gets involved, and then it's looking like it's going to become 2-on-1. The only thing that I didn't like, of course, is always the play the person's music and everything, and then they come down to the ring. I just always think that's kind of silly, because if I'm the heel and I know the babyface is coming to beat me up, I'm going to run and I'm going to meet them. I'm going to meet them to cut them off, but that's just a minor thing with me. I think it would have probably made more sense for Mandy to just come out and, do what she did without the music playing. She went in, she did the low blow on Dolph, and then, Otis gets the win. He got the girl. It was like, all right, I was cool with it. I had no problem with the match. I was actually very entertained by it, all things considered. All I thought was what Vic was talking about the other day with this match, saying that, hey, if we're not going to be doing TV for a while, we're going to have to wrap up these stories. And I think that's exactly what they did. They wrapped it up in a bow, and the next time we see the Mandy Rose, Dolph Ziggler, Otis story. It'll probably continue, but now Mandy Rose is the established babyface. She's with Otis, and it'll be against Ziggler and Sonya Deville, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Agree.
Yeah. I've been following this story since the beginning, from the whole Otis getting the date stolen and everything. I knew this was going to be a good match. I was a fan of it. The whole storytelling. The only thing I didn't see was the whole Sonya and Mandy the Mandy turn on Sonya thing. So it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, I actually did not know about it until I saw SmackDown last night after we recorded our show. I know they showed it on SmackDown. Had I never watched SmackDown, I would have never been thinking about this. But other way, quick thing, guys. Vic, you did win the WrestleMania polls. You took 12 matches out of 16. Lou, you came in second, 11 out of 16, and I came in third, 10 out of 6.
That means you're getting chops.
Big. You did.
Because Jack, the lumberjack, is gonna keep chopping them and chopping them and chopping them down.
All right, Axe.